Podsters, we are 4 weeks until the end of the year. And you know what? I'm calling a timeout. I am calling a global timeout. I am challenging all of us, including myself, instead of finishing the year strong, let's finish the year smart. Maybe you finish the year slow because that feels good to you. Maybe you finish the year simple. Maybe you finish the year with ease. And that's what we're going to talk about today is how to make sure that you're enjoying the joys of this holiday season and that you're not rushing around trying to finish strong and instead building a life where there are fewer peaks and valleys and we get to approach everything with ease. Who's with me? Buckle up, Podsters. Here we go.
Are you ready to speak up, stand out, and get your seat at the table? If so, you're in the right place. Welcome to Unmute Yourself, the podcast where you'll get real-life anecdotes and actionable tools for you to step into your strengths, debunk imposter syndrome, truly know your worth, and show up like you own the room every time. I'm your host, Nancy Medoff, who did the thing and followed my passion for empowering women like you to unleash that inner spark and become who you know you are meant to be. I'm a diehard foodie with a raging Skittles habit who will not stop until women everywhere unmute themselves and truly thrive at work, at home, or wherever you may be. Let's do this.
What is up, Podsters? It is almost December. We're a couple days away from the most wonderful time of the year. I can't promise that's the last time I'm going to be singing to you over the next 4 weeks. Probably the last time, but I can't promise. Anyway, so today's episode, if you're listening to this, if I'm actually airing it, boy, are you in for a treat because I wasn't sure if I was going to air this. And I'll tell you why. Over here at Unmute Yourself, we are about doing the thing, stepping into your strengths, going for it, stepping onto that stage, really owning who you are. We are about action, action, action. And I today am going to make a case for inaction or not taking action, or instead of finishing the year strong, finishing the year soft, finishing the year sane, finishing the year slow. Here's why this is top of mind for me. And again, like I said, if you're listening to this, it means I put myself out there and I did it because this is, I don't know if it's necessarily on brand for me. And also I think it's pretty important. So over the past couple weeks, I have noticed myself and a lot of my dear friends slowing down. We're just coming off of the Thanksgiving holiday. We're getting ready for the Christmas and Hanukkah and New Year and Kwanzaa and all the holidays. And I've noticed a shift in both myself, but I'm going to talk about my friends, a couple of close friends who have purposefully taken a step back and chosen to use this time to be with their families and or their loved ones. And the difference in how they're showing up, the difference in their energy when I look at them, what I'm seeing them post on the socials, when I talk to them, the tone of their texts, they are loving this slowdown. And I understand that sometimes you just have to grind. I get that. I don't necessarily support that, but I do get why people think that. And at the same time, I believe that you can engineer a life where you're not grinding. And after 3 decades in sales, and I know if you're in sales and you're listening to this, there might be some eye roll going on, and I can appreciate that. December is like, it's the Super Bowl of sales. You have to get all your contracts over the finish line, you know, bonuses, ratings, everything, you rates, everything changes after December 31st. So it is go, get that contract over the finish line. And I remember I would stand in front of the fax machine at one of the hotels I worked at many, many years ago on December 30th and wait for these contracts to come back. For those of you who don't know what a fax machine is, before email, it was a machine where you could send documents back and forth with signatures. Anyway, Kidding. I know you know what a fax machine is. So, and I remember it would ruin my holidays, and I would run around the whole month of December stressed out. First of all, because it's December. So all the things are happening. And I remember I would be running around with family commitments. Work was busier than ever. And if you don't get it done, you can't slide a contract in the first week in January. You don't get it. You don't get credit for it in the year. And it could have a significant effect on my bonus. So I get that there's some built-in urgency to December. I do. And at the same time, I'm not sure it's worth it. I'm not sure the payoff or the trade-off, is worth it. I have seen my friends get healthier over the past couple of weeks. I have enjoyed myself. I specifically really, really shut down over the past, I'd say, 4 days. And the creativity that's coming into my mind, I am crystal clear on what I want to do with my business in January. I'm not going to start it in December. I'm going to wait. I'm going to enjoy my holiday. I'm going to enjoy the month of December and hit the ground running in January. And I'm going to explain what that means in a minute, because it doesn't mean probably what you think it means. So let me go back to the change that I've seen in my friends and in myself. If your kids are home from school, you're never going to get this time back. And taking a couple of days to spend time with them rather than map out or plan out how you're going to finish the year, that's okay. Visiting with loved ones who you only get to see once a year instead of, it's simply not worth it. And the more you slow down, the more space you open up for your new ideas and your fresh ideas. I mean, there's a reason why some of our best ideas are when we're in the shower, we're relaxing, we're not doing anything else. Many of you are listening to this podcast, which I think is hilarious, in the shower. When I take a shower, I don't do anything else. My best idea of the day is my first idea of the day. The minute I wake up, before my feet even hit the floor, I have a couple of really good ideas or a couple of really important things for me to remember to do during the day. And that's because my brain has been rested. It's been rested all night. It's been in la la land, and I've been allowed to be creative and allowed to just let it shut down. So that's not a coincidence. And I want to go back to the sales piece. If you're in sales and your success is depending on the last 2 weeks of the year, I'm going to ask you to take a look at that, because that's not good. And that's not necessary. It's not. I remember I said that I used to stand in front of the fax machine after one too many New Year's that was ruined, because, by the way, my clients knew, and they would wait until that last day to then negotiate, and because they knew I really needed it. But anyway, if you're waiting on the last couple of weeks to ensure success in your business or at your job, then you probably haven't planned as well as you could have. And again, I say that knowing that I have done exactly the same. So I have another friend who this past couple of weeks, we've been wanting to get together. There's a few things that we want to do. And every time I suggest we get together, she comes back with, yes, let's do that in January or February when we're not as rushed, when we can really enjoy ourselves. And I'm like, every time she says it, I'm like, you know what? Good for her. She's right. Why are we jamming everything into December? There are enough commitments. So here's 3 things that I recommend you do now so that you can end your year with ease. Now, I'm going to let you all in on a little secret. I have chosen my word for 2024. I shared it with a friend this weekend, and I have to tell you, it was kind of a lackluster response. And she listens to this podcast, so not really sure where she was going with. She gave me kind of like an inquisition. And my word for 2024 is going to be ease, E-A-S-E, ease. And I'll tell you why. I had a great year. Personally, I had a great year. A lot of great things happened. Professionally, best year, probably my best year in business. I have a couple of really big projects that I want to work on next year, and I want to enjoy them. I want to do them with ease. I believe that life is not meant to be lived grinding all the time. And I do an annual wellness retreat every November right before Thanksgiving. This was a couple weekends ago. And both my friend and I, we just decompress for 72 hours. There's no cell phones allowed. So very, very limited cell phone. There's no alcohol allowed. So very, very limited alcohol. It's healthy food. It's working out. It's yoga. It's really calming yourself and going inward for quite a few days. And I remember thinking to myself, looking around at all these women, and these are power women that are there individually or as little groups. It's not like a big group retreat. And thinking, these women like run massive companies, and none of us have figured out how to curate a life that you don't have to step out of for 3 or 4 days in order to relax. And that is going to be my goal for 2024, is to do more things with greater ease. That doesn't mean I'm not going to do things that aren't complicated. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to aim high and go for the brass ring. It means that when I'm going for that brass ring, I am choosing a path that has the most ease. Doesn't mean there's no resistance. It means it's the most easy path for what I want to accomplish. So that's my word. Feel free to use it if you'd like. Back to the 3 things you can do now to end your year with ease. So the first is, number 1, I love this exercise. So as we're reflective, and you might not be yet, it's still early December, but I think you might be. People are starting to think about 2024, starting to maybe think a little bit about resolution-y and stuff like that. Take a look at or think about it. So in 2024, what do you want more, less, and same? This is one of my favorite exercises from when I facilitate workshops. More, less, same. What would you like more of in your life? What would you like less of in your life? And what would you like the same of in your life? And this is a business, well, it's also a life podcast, but in this case, let's talk about business. So if you are working for someone else, or if you are, in a career and a career trajectory working for a company, what do you want more of in your day? What do you want less of? And what do you want the same of? This is an excellent exercise. Same thing for your business. What do you want more of? You probably want more money. I mean, that's a given, or more revenue, more clients. But besides that, what do you want to be doing more of? What do you want to be doing less of? And what's working well and you want to keep doing the same? So the way that this helps me end the year with ease is that I start doing it now. So if I start thinking about more, less, same, I start living that way now. And I can try it out and see how it works. So that's the first one. The second thing I do, and I work for myself, so I have the luxury of being able to do this. I do not book any appointments the first 2 weeks in January. I've already blocked those first 2 weeks. If it's an emergency or if someone really needs to speak with me, of course I'm going to talk with someone, but I block those first couple weeks to really focus on my business so that I can enjoy my December. I know I don't have to grind in December. I don't have to grind over the next few weeks because I know I've allocated several days in January to focus on my business and to take some of that clarity and what I've been thinking about over the past few weeks and really kind of put that to paper and figure out what that looks like. If you work for someone else or you're working for a large company, perhaps you can block a couple of days where no one can block appointments with you, or maybe you can ask for a couple of days off. Maybe you can make sure you're sticking to your boundaries and only working a set number of hours each of those days. Really, it's easing into January. It's easing into the year. Oh, look at that. I use the word ease again. See, this is meant to be my word. And the third way you can finish your year soft or finish your year smart or approach 2024 with ease is it's pretty simple and it's one word. And that word is no. I'd like each of you to practice saying no. And I mean saying no to overextending yourself, overpromising, overcommitting, over-exaggerating, over anything. And again, I've noticed this behavior in some friends and I really respect it. And it's no, that I can't do that right now, or that doesn't work for me. Or if somebody needs you to do something, sure, do that. And then stop at that one thing. You don't have to over please and overcommit. And it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no, not right now. It's okay to say no, let's revisit it in a few weeks. It's okay to say, even to yourself, no, that doesn't bring me joy, or no, that's not going to help me end my year with ease, so I'm not going to do it. And I say this with the risk of it sounding a little negative. You know me well enough to know that that's not my intent, nor really is it the spirit with which I'm saying this. It's about, if you overcommit in December, you know what January is going to be like. January it's like there's a starting gun that goes off on January 2nd, and everybody starts clamoring to do, go, budgets, meeting, travel, goals, everything. It's planning. It is nuts. It's nuts. So if you don't take this time now and say no to some things now, you're definitely not going to get the time in January if you don't try to ease into it like I recommended. And even if you do ease into it, I think January is worse than December in terms of unrealistic expectations from others as well as on ourselves. So, Podsters, this quickie episode is brought to you by ease. And what can you do now so that you can end your year? Yep, you can end it strong, and also make sure that you end it the way you want to end it, in the manner with which you want to be working. That is my wish for you, Podsters. Still a couple of spots left for my one-on-one coaching. Oh, I have 2 programs actually that are now available. Speaker School starts in January. It's 3 sessions, 2 weeks, 1 epic outcome. If you want to take the stage, this is your workshop. You will come out with your keynote speech. You'll come out with your speaker sheet. You'll come out with your persuasive communication techniques. This is like the starter kit for how to be a public speaker. So that starts in January. The link is in the show notes. And then the Do the Thing virtual retreat. We're all about doing the thing. That retreat starts in January. See what I mean? January is going to be nuts. So you can sign up for that now. I think when you're hearing this, I will indeed still have my Black Friday special going. So check it out. Take a look. Love to see you. Love to hear from you. Love to all of you. And you are in for some real treats this month. We have a lineup all-star guests coming on, and it's going to be epic. So with that, peace out, Podsters. See you next week.
Are you ready to speak up, stand out, and get your seat at the table? If so, you're in the right place. Welcome to Unmute Yourself, the podcast where you'll get real-life anecdotes and actionable tools for you to step into your strengths, debunk imposter syndrome, truly know your worth, and show up like you own the room. I'm your host, Nancy Medoff, who ditched my VP Global Sales job after being spoken over one too many times in a meeting. That's right. I took the leap to do the thing and follow my passion for empowering women to unleash that inner spark and become who you know you are meant to be. I'm a diehard foodie with a raging Skittles habit who will not stop until women everywhere unmute themselves and truly thrive at home, at work, or wherever you may be. Let's do this.